Hey, it's Chris, the Supply Chain Doctor, bringing you the Supply Chain Minute. At the Supply Chain Doctor, we're on a mission to help people preparing for any ASCM exam to increase their likelihood of passing the exam by improving their knowledge in general and becoming a better supply chain professional. Today, I am at doing a walk and talk from, again, Northwest Florida. This is Pinnacle Port Resort. I'm actually on the boat ramp where the guests and the owners have the opportunity to put their boat into what we call Lake Powell. Lake Powell is the largest coastal dune in North America, and it covers about 800 acres. You can see behind me there's a highway. There's kind of like the lake itself. But people do a lot of boating, fishing, and kayaking, and really just relaxing in the lake itself. There's very few places like this coastal dune in the world, so if you have an opportunity, I would encourage you to come down and check it out if you're into the outdoor type of activities. Today's key concept is going to be customer segmentation, which, if done properly, should be a key component of a successful customer relationship management strategy. And we talked about CRM in another post. In the ASCM learning system, they kind of treat market segmentation and customer segmentation the same. Although there are some small nuances between the differences of what they are. What I'll find is market segmentation is more about is an external centric, and it's more about finding new customers to bring into your business, whereas customer segmentation is really more about finding or understanding more about your customers and allowing you to have a better relationship with those customers. And you understand, again, check out the CRM session that we did, and you can understand what customer relationship management is about. Just to give you a little bit more idea around the differences in market and customer segmentation. Think about market as maybe I'm selling snow removal equipment, and I want to define which markets might be best for me to focus on. I might then say, okay, the market in the North US might be a bit more snow, and I might want to sell snow blowers there. Get into maybe a little bit further south, maybe I'll just sell shovels. And further down here, where I am in sunny Florida, I probably wouldn't sell any shovels at all, so this may not be a market for me. However, once I get into maybe looking at the sub-markets, I might say if I'm selling shovels into a specific market, what customers do I have in that market? And this gets into customer segmentation. What customers do I have in that market, and really what types of shovels would they like? What colors would they like? Ergonomic designs, those types of things. So that's really focusing on the specific customers. Just as a point of reference, it actually snowed here where I'm standing just about maybe a week ago, 10 days, and there was about 4 or 5 inches of snow here. So maybe this is possibly a market, although I said it wasn't, given it's Florida, but it does snow in Florida. I'm going to read this as the APICS definition for customer segmentation is the practice of dividing a customer base into groups of individuals similar in specific ways relevant to marketing. And I would also say relevant to service expectations. Traditional segmentation focuses on identifying groups based on demographics and attributes such as attitudes, the customer's attitudes, and psychological profiles. Now, it's funny because I've been doing supply chain for many, many years, and I've never imagined I would hear psychological profiling being talked about in the supply chain itself. So once you have the customer segments defined, you can then start to provide specific types of engagement and marketing and service levels to the specific customers segments based on what they want. So, for example, you might have a very special segment. You could offer niche marketing. Niche marketing is a term, not an important or relevant term, but it is a term that you'll see in the book. A good sales strategy might also define how you're going to be working with your customers based on the way that they want, what they want, and how they buy products, and how they want to be contacted. In this situation, you might have somebody that wants a lot of attention, somebody that's maybe a bit more profitable to your organization. You could offer them it's a role called customer success managers, and that's where the person's reaching out to them more frequently, making sure they understand the value that they should be getting, making sure they understand all the solutions that you provide. And in that case, it's very beneficial, because if they do like that attention, it helps you establish a better relationship with that customer. So that's where the customer success strategies come into play. Now, in the book, you'll see there's not a lot of attention given to this topic, the customer segmentation in the book, the learning system itself, but there is just a little bit for you to understand. The traditional segments include customer value to the organization. So for example, the key thing here is not all customers are created equally. So some customers are more profitable to your organization than others. And in that instance, you want to know which ones those are. You might step back and do an analysis of profitability where you find 20% of the customers are basically responsible for 80% of your revenues. And that's important. You also want to look at profit as well, because just because the customer is buying a lot of materials or buying a lot of your products doesn't necessarily mean that they're contributing to your bottom line. If the margins are low in what they're buying, then maybe you're putting too much time and attention on those. So it's just important to understand who they are, if they're the right candidates for customer success managers, or if they should be handled more on a transactional basis. It really helps you define what the value is to your organization. The next group segment, the traditional segmenting strategy that's defined in the book, is segmenting customers by need. And that's really based on the features and functions of your products or your services or your solutions. And really then how much service requirements does the customer expect? How much do they need? Can they work with the product themselves, or do they need a little bit more hand-holding to get more value out of the solution? And then the last one that's referenced in the learning system is the preferred channel. And it talks really pretty much about how do they expect to order the products and how do they expect to have them delivered. And in that case, you can see it today. Some people still like going to the mall and talking to a salesperson, touching the product. Others, maybe they can buy things online and they're a little bit more e-commerce friendly. So it really just depends on what your customer's channel delivery expectations are. So the key point here around customer segmentation is it allows you to be more customer centric in all phases of engagement with your customers. And this should lead to a higher lifetime value relationship for both you and your customers.
Let's walk through a few example questions to help reinforce your learning. And I'll also discuss some general test-taking strategies and rules of thumb to increase your chances of success. So customer segmentation as a concept is relevant and important to anyone pursuing CSCP. For CLTD and CPIM, those tend to be more internal operational centric, so this will not apply to those learning paths. CSCP, if you recall, is more of a high-level overview, a strategic perspective of the supply chain, which includes customers and customer segmentation. Customer segmentation is defined as the practice of dividing a customer base into groups of individuals who are similar in specific ways relevant to marketing. Traditional segmentation focuses on identifying customer groups based on demographics and attributes such as attitude and psychological profiles. Now, a few practice questions. Customer segmentation is a strategy you can use to better retain customers. Now, notice from the question standpoint, that is more of a statement, and then the question follows. Which of the following is not an example of customer segmentation? And again, from a strategy standpoint, understand this is more of a negative question, so you're going to be looking for the answer that is incorrect. So there will be several things there that look correct, but you have to realize you're looking for the one that is not an example. So analyze customer needs and demands, and then group according to similarities. I like this one. It's analyzing customer needs, so that's favorable. Conduct business as usual and manage customers in accordance with the procedure. I don't like this one. I'm not even sure what the procedure is. And then conducting business as usual. I don't think we would be learning more about Apex and supply chain if we were just going to do it as is. Establish customer value through value-based analysis. Again, this is an action, and you're focused on the customer, so I like any answer that's action-based and focused on customers. And then analyze customers' needs to establish better allocation of resources. Well, it's analyzing the customer's needs. Just like the first one, I like anything that's action-oriented, specifically action-oriented towards customer. In this example, conduct business as usual and manage customers in accordance with the procedure. So we're not going to be conducting business as usual. Just keep that in mind as a general rule of thumb for answering. Next question. Market segmentation is a strategy that involves dividing a product line market into subsets. So a lot more words there, but again, that's a statement. Which of the following is a criteria used to create a subset? If you understand the definition of the term, you'll kind of get this one right off the bat. Products with the same configuration is probably not going to be a good answer because this is more internal centric. The way the product's configured really may not have much of an impact on customers. It might, but it's an internal centric measurement. Source of raw materials, again, I'm going to say that's not a good one unless you're looking at things like conflict minerals, modern day slavery, where the customers or the contracts say you can't source materials from specific regions. But again, that's more of a strategic, higher level that we're not focused on here. So we're looking at segments. So sourcing of raw materials is internal centric. Demographics by gender, age, occupation, and wealth. I think if you remember back to the definition, it listed demographics quite specifically, so I like that one. So I'm going to say I like that one. Product brand name, again, it's like products with the same configuration. Product brand name probably comes after the segments have been defined, and that's more of an internal approach. So I'm going to go with demographics of gender, age, occupation, and wealth. Based on the gender, the age, how much money they have is going to define how you could be marketing to those customers. A couple more questions, and again, it's the same question, it's just asked in a different way. So it talks about which of the following is not, there's the word not, a customer-focused strategy of customer segmentation. And this kind of gets just into really understanding what the definitions are. So customer segmentation can be done by customer needs, customer values, preferred channels, or preferred service. It's a little bit tricky, but customer needs is one of the definitions, one of the ways to segment. Customer value, and again, I say customer value, it's not customer value to the customer. This segment is defined by value to your company, to the organization. And if you remember, you might have seen this in the book. If you look at the customers, number of customers here, list that out. I know it's tough to read. U.S. And then revenues. So you might see something like this. It goes back to the Pareto analysis. So really, what we're focusing in on is the types of customers you have here, the percentages. And you might look back and say, okay, 20% of the customers will create 80% of the revenues. So I didn't list this here, but this is revenues to you as the company. And you might even break it down in a little bit further by profit. So in this case, segmentation by value. So that would be, again, a good segmentation strategy. Preferred channel, how they're going to buy it. Do they buy it online? Do they like to go to the store? Do they want more handheld? Do they want to just go to the store and buy it over the shelf? That is the three definitions of what we have. So segmentation by preferred service is not. It's a little bit of a trick question. Preferred service is going to be basically a customer need. If you read through the book, you'll understand that the service is part of the need. Then the next question is the same question, but it doesn't have the not. It's a different format that you might see. Which of the following is a customer-focused strategy of customer segmentation? We talked through these in detail above, that these are the different segmentation strategies, so the answer is going to be all the above. So it's just important to understand that you can have the answer of all the above, and keep that in mind. You have to understand if it's the not, if it's the positive or the negative of the question. I hope this helps you better understand customer segmentation as a fundamental supply chain concept, and more importantly, I hope this makes you feel a little bit more confident as you become a better supply chain professional.